One of the first names that I recognized doing this work out there in the world is our professional winner tonight. So we're going to have three award winners, folks. The first one is our professional winner. One of again, the first people that I ever recognized doing work at the intersection of art and advocacy. And a name that's pretty well known out there to any of you that have been playing along here. Our professional winner tonight is the incomparable Seth Bernard. I'm gonna try to give you a little intro, my friend. Born and raised on the earthwork farm in northern rural Michigan, Seth was brought up in the folk and farmstead culture with an enriching, integrative experience of arts, agriculture, and community. He is a prolific songwriter and recording artist with 12 solo albums and a dozen more collaborative projects in his catalog. Please check out his page. He is probably coming to a town near you in the next month or so, and you could see him live. Seth also co-launched the nonprofit organization Title Track, engaging creative practice to build resilient social ecological systems. He also founded Earthwork Music, the renowned Michigan-based collective of successful independent musicians. Seth has traveled the world and blanketed the US as a magnetic performer and cultural worker, but he's equally at home fronting a large electric ensemble or with his acoustic guitar. Seth, I think you have been one of the longest time partners of the Michigan Climate Action Network, a regular performer at the Climate Summit and this year's Capitol Day. And we again find ourselves partnering with you, Seth, as you are leading the way with your own unique contributions of art and activism in the fight against these hyperscale AI data centers. Seth, for your massive contributions to the cultural heart of this movement, we are overjoyed to award you with the Professional Climate Champion Award. Please take some time to tell these folks about your journey and your work.
Thank you so much, Denise. Wow. I am so incredibly honored to be in this meeting with you all in the company of such incredible humans that I love so much. I am such a huge fan of so many of the people that I see in this meeting. And Des, thank you so much for that powerful poem. It is always wonderful to share space with you, even if it's virtual. Sam, just cooking, just wherever you go, cooking up new tunes and community. So grateful. Um, I am a huge fan of Tom, so I'm really excited to be honored alongside Tom, and his work has truly inspired me and put a lot of wind in my sails. And servant leadership, embodiment in terms of like doing whatever needs to be done to achieve objectives and to bring people together. And Anamika, I have not met you yet, but I'm very excited to get to know you and to support your leadership as well. Um, so yes, I was at the Capitol with many of you today, and it was so powerful to be there. It's always powerful to be there. September was amazing as well, and it sort of felt like, okay, back here, it's a sort of like my second office now. Like I could get used to this. Like let's just keep an amplifier here, and uh, let's have a couple electric guitars that stay inside the Capitol, so we can just kind of grab them and rip. Um, we're standing up for the things that are most important to all of us, and um, clean water, the ability to be in relationship with each other and keeping our humanity intact. This fight against hyperscale AI data centers, it's like tomato, tomato, potato, potato, data, data. Let's call the whole thing off. Like, this is a fight for our humanity, really. And I have never seen an issue that has brought more people together in all my years of organizing. And I started really young, y'all. My mom was one of the first Vista volunteers under Bobby Kennedy in the 60s, and she taught me how to be a rebel in the best way possible. with a lot of love and music and making sure that there's good food. So I got brought along to a lot of meetings when I was a kid, and I do the same now as a father. And here we are fighting some of the greatest terrors that we've ever faced, some of the most, malicious and insulting and horrific and sort of like, are you kidding me? You really want to try to do this? You think you can pull this off? The forces that we are up against um, are formidable, but they're also not as strong and they're not as inevitable or invincible as they would like us to believe. And a lot of what we're seeing here is really just a giant sales operation done by a lot of extremely wealthy people who are actually desperate to sell a product that is not very popular, that is sort of reliant upon high interest loans and is being deployed as a parasite on the working class and on our lands and our water. And people are onto this, people from across the political spectrum. So I was invited to talk a little bit about my work here, and I live up here in Kalkaska County. I made it back just a couple minutes into the sound check, and I was so happy to hear all the music here in this meeting. But not too far away from here, there was a 1,400 acre data center proposed, and within 1 week, Kalkaska residents in the DNR ran it all out of town and they canceled all the plans. People showed up. People showed up strong. People showed up curious. People showed up focused, and we won. And this is starting to happen more and more across the state. People are coming together, they're fighting, and what's happening is not just beating one by one data centers, but it's movement building. And it's something that all of us have waited for, and not just waited for, but worked day and night for decades. And it's multiracial, multi-generational, multi-faith, working class solidarity. And it's a movement that is gaining power and gaining traction. And I expect data centers to be the central issue of the 2026 election cycle. And I expect major coalition building and some really generational opportunities to come down the pike as a result of the movement building and the awareness raising that has been a part of this fight. And so what we're seeing is the veil sort of getting lifted on the corruption within our political system. So I think that's a really great entry point for people that don't know enough about this. And really that statement right there, I don't know enough about this, is a great entry point. We should know a lot more about this. There should not be redacted documents. There should not be NDAs. None of our elected leaders should be signing NDAs. We need more transparency about any industry that wants to come into our lives and our neighborhoods, but especially this because it is so parasitic in every way, and there is such a universal distrust of big tech. So this collusion is sort of lifting the veil on the corruption within our system. And this week we have the opportunity to be involved in something pretty historic, which is like the Michigan Public Service Commission has been asked to grant ex parte to fast track providing power for what would be the largest data center in the country in Saline Township. Many of y'all have been tracking this very closely. Michigan Public Service Commission has never had a microscope like this on them. And it's called the Michigan Public Service Commission. What people are realizing is that our whole system has been flooded by money from the utilities. The top two contributors to Michigan politics are DTE and consumers. And Blue Cross is number 3. So it's hard for us to hold, our healthcare providers and our utility providers accountable when they have funded all of the elected leaders who are supposed to be doing that. We do have enough allies within, the halls of Congress and definitely in the AG's office to be shining a light on this and fighting this. But what's happening this week is that everyone is focused on this decision. And so I want to invite all of you. I can't stop and won't stop organizing. So you give me the mic and I'm going to organize. And I appreciate the opportunity and the encouragement to do so. I also do have a guitar here. So I got that up my sleeve too. But we can make public comments and we can show up for the meeting. It's at 1 p.m. on Thursday. And any of you who might have relationships, leverage them. I mean, Dan Scripps is the chair of the Michigan Public Service Commission. When he was running for Congress, I used to invite him up on stage with me to give speeches to the people. He inspired me to try to protect the water and believe in the process. So I'm leveraging that relationship. I'm trying to help him know that I believe that he has the ability to do the right thing and to stand strong, and that he inspired me to do so. Some of you are big supporters of the governor. And what is happening here is that she's giving exemptions to these companies from the climate goals that we all set. And they're trying to fast track power that we don't have, trying to expand our grid by 50% without being able to prove that we can do it. And it's because the utilities are in the pockets of our politicians, and Governor Whitmer, unfortunately, is included in that and received $550,000 from DTE last year. So the good news is we are winning this fight, and all eyes are on the Michigan Public Service Commission. And if they make the wrong choice, it actually puts a lot of wind in the sails of Mop Up Michigan, and we need y'all to really work on Mop Up Michigan. This is a ballot initiative to eliminate funding from DTE, consumers, and Blue Cross that I all just mentioned from contributing at all. And they have these dark money groups under other names. Maybe some of you have seen these big billboards for Mike Duggan that they don't say vote for Mike Duggan, but they're gassing him up. So this is the kind of money we're talking about, these utilities that come in and they run rampant. So if you have relationships, you need to leverage them. And I think also this is something that we can crack open with our people, our family members, and our friends who we may have battled on other issues. You know, the person that you have been trying to convince climate change is real about, I mean, they might already be against data centers. So you can work for the same thing, clean air and clean water, using different language on the same issue. And this is it's an issue that everyone can find a reason to sort of go up against. It violates our sovereignty. It's a justice issue. It's about spiritual freedom. It is the most grotesque misuse of our land and our resources that we've seen so far. And it has the power to galvanize a working class movement on a scale that we've never seen in Michigan. So we're going to fight, and we're going to do everything we can to win in Saline. Saline's sort of the tip of the spear, and that's what's happening this week. But we're going to need to continue to fight all year round, and we're going to need to take this generational opportunity to mop up Michigan and take the money out of politics in Michigan in 2026. And that's something all of us can organize around. Go to mopupmichigan.org to learn more about that. I think that I could go on and on and on, but I think that, you know, once you start looking into this, it doesn't take long for you to sort of get on board with the scale of how atrocious it is and how many different ways we can get involved. So I just really want to encourage y'all to dip into these waters if you haven't already. And I want to give a shout out to our dear friends from Pleasant Peninsula who are on the call. Eddie's been creating this amazing art. Pleasant Peninsula is a collective of muralists that do public art for environmental advocacy. And in the spirit of the theme of this awards, I just wanted to honor them and the work that they're doing. A lot of their work has gone viral, and it's the power of art, the power of the creative process to bring people in, to draw people in, to help people look further and to read a message and then to take an action step. And I love the fact that MyCan is serious about this. And it helps us take our work seriously and more seriously, and that is a message that spreads. So I've always been honored to stand with MyCan. I have so much respect for the leadership of the team. To be able to go to Lansing in September and build with so many people at the conference, and then take all that energy to the steps of the Capitol, and then join Tom and the Protect the Porkies crew as we marched around the Capitol and into the Rotunda. It was just a beautiful community building experience where we were all working together, and a rising tide lifts all boats. And I've been feeling such strong energy around this June Jordan quote, "We are the ones we've been waiting for," in this difficult year that we've all had. And I know it's been difficult for all of us in many different ways. And for me, it's been a big grief walk, transitioning some of my life's work with Earthwork Harvest Gathering into what's going to come next on Earthwork Farm, and taking a pause from doing the Michigan music festivals and focusing on my health and recovering from Lyme disease. And also a year of loss. I lost a number of people that were very, very close to me. Michael Berkowitz, I want to name Michael, who was my mentee, and some of you have been mentors and have felt mentored by your mentees, so you know what that's like. And I probably all of us have lost people that have sort of become our angels in the movement work, and it helps you sort of feel that you have this responsibility and this momentum and some wings. So what I would like to do now is to dedicate this award that you guys have so graciously given to me to Holly Bird. And Holly transitioned to ancestorhood on April 2nd. And Holly Ba is a bright, bright spirit. As one of my other heroes, Monica Lewis Patrick, said, Holly is a nova. And I feel Holly's spirit and her support and her belief in me every day. And it keeps me grounded, and it keeps me humble, and it keeps me fierce and creative. And I want to just splash some of that on y'all. And this phrase, live like Holly. And A.G. Nessel spoke at Holly's memorial, and she talked about how a phone call from Holly was one of the biggest inspirations that she received to take her work on Line 5 seriously. And we're still in that work. And I see you, Bill Latka. You have been everywhere that this has been happening, and I admire you, and you are always with me too. And so many of you that have been doing this work. So we all got to live like Holly, and that involves taking care of our people and doing this frontline mutual aid. It involves cracking people up during meetings, like kind of riding that edge a little bit. Like I remember Holly used to try to make me laugh. Like we'd be behind Governor Whitmer, and she'd be like, eat some more of those blueberries. And so it's like that liveliness, that buoyancy is what we need to do it. And we need to do it for the rest of our lives. And I know I'm among people that are serious about that, doing this work for the rest of our lives. And so I'm so honored to be with you all. And I want to just play in closing a song that Holly used to sing with me. And it was the last song that I got to sing to Holly. And I want to offer it to you all. And if you listen to the version on my record, you get to hear Sam Cooper singing with me, which is always a delight. And I am so thankful once again to be in such soulful and heartfelt and serious company here. And this is what I'm here for, this work with all of you in this moment. And we have what it takes to make some of the biggest changes that we've ever had to make as human beings on planet Earth to get back into right relationship with each other and Mother Earth. So onward. Carry yourself like a king. There ain't no shame in being poor. Ain't nobody else got the vibe that you bring. So play your own game and keep your soul pure. The strength of your heart will carry you through your whole life. Carry yourself like a queen. There ain't no time to suffer fools. This world may be rough, but your spirit's pristine. Let your mind unwind in crystalline pools. The strength of your heart carry you through your whole life. Carry yourself like a servant, leader, servant of love, of children, of elders, able to respond to the call of the teacher, to give to the world and keep your eyes open. The strength of your heart will carry you through your whole life. The strength of your heart will carry you through your whole life. Thank you so much, everybody. Onward.